Do we care that teachers just keep quitting? Honestly, because I don't see that anything is being done about it, and it's really starting to piss me off. I mean, I wanted to make a why I quit teaching video too, but then I saw that so many people were making them that I figured, what is the point? We're all saying the same damn things. And the fact that things just continue to get worse is just insane. But I just found out some really disturbing information about the Department of Education that I want to share with you while I was researching for this video. So stick around and we're going to talk about it later in the video. But for now, let's just get right into it. So we're seeing teachers quit every single day, but what changes are being made to make it stop? Teachers have been begging, pleading, protesting, and now quitting, but nothing is being done to make things any better. So how many teachers have to quit before the whole thing just collapses and schools just shut down? Before education as we know it is just over, done. Schools are closed and the kids are just left to what? Not even be able to learn to read and write and learn basic skills? Is that what we want? Oh, wait, that's already happening.
Teachers are quitting and warning America about the future of our workforce. Here's why.
As somebody that taught high school and basically educating our new young adults, every last one of us should be scared. These kids cannot read. They cannot write. There is no type of comprehension skills, no type of critical thinking. They cannot do anything on their own. They expect everything to be given to them.
When she said every last one of us should be scared about the new generation coming up, that really hit a nerve with me. And it got me thinking more deeply about what happens to all the students, all the kids left behind when the teachers are gone. And I'm not talking about the bad, misbehaving students that just tear up classrooms, but the good, hardworking students who are just minding their business and doing their work. Because this weighs heavily on all of us that have left the classroom. Check this out.
Second of all, okay, I will not be here next year. Okay. I've accepted a job offer somewhere else. This is obviously hard for me. I love being here. There's no problem at all with this school. I've loved teaching here, but an opportunity came about, and it's what's best for me. It's what's best for the goals and the dreams I have. The best way I can put it is the reason I'm crying is not because I'm leaving a building. It's not because I'm leaving a nice school where we have nice PE equipment, right? The reason it's hard for me is because I'm leaving you guys.
Wow, I mean, that video almost made me cry. And this is just a sad reality for many teachers. We don't want to just abandon the kids, but many of us have just been backed into a corner. And even though it's hard, we still have to do what's best for ourselves at the end of the day. But here's the thing. We can leave, as in the adults in the classroom who have had enough. I mean, I've seen all kinds of posts about teachers leaving in order to make more money, teachers leaving in order to take better care of their mental health, their overall health, and their mental health, teachers leaving to spend more time with their families and spend more time with their own kids. And I'm definitely here for it.
I quit my job almost 2 months ago, and since quitting my job as a teacher, I have doubled my salary, okay? I am not going to sit on this app and tell y'all that it's easy, that it's practical, that is logical, or that you should do it, because at the end of the day, I cannot guarantee you that you're going to make the money that I make. But what I can tell you is that you need to put yourself first. So if that means staying in the classroom until you're able to come out with a new job, with a better opportunity, that's sadly what we have to do.
I have been out of teaching for about 2.5 weeks, and this is what I have noticed so far. First and foremost, and honestly the most important thing, my nervous system is almost fully regulated. Before I would get off work, I would go to sleep and I would wake up to spend time with my son. And I was back in bed by like 8:30 or 9 o'clock because I was so mentally drained. And also because of that, I wasn't like cooking or cleaning or spending time with my family the way that I should have. I just traveled out of state, and before, my anxiety like would never have let me do that.
If you're a teacher who hates teaching and wonders what your life would be like not teaching, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Jeanette. I used to be a special education teacher in Chicago for 7 years, and now I work in tech as a customer success manager, and my life has changed completely in the best of ways. So let me tell you about that. Okay, so the first thing is my mental health. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest reason why I left, honestly. I was crying on my way to school. I was crying on my way home from school. I was crying on the weekends in anticipation of going to school. I was crying at night because I knew I wasn't getting enough sleep. I was exhausted. I was crying a lot. And I had the Sunday scaries pretty much every day, right? I don't have those anymore. Don't get me wrong, like I do have challenging work days, I have frustrating work days, but there is nothing, it doesn't come close to how overwhelmed and depressed I felt as a teacher.
Ooh, yes, I definitely remember those days when I would break down in the car and I would feel it coming. By the time that last bell would ring, I could feel it, and I knew when I would just have one of those days and I would just have to tell myself, just make it to the car, just make it to the car, just make it to the car. Because, you can't let the kids see you crying or upset. Especially we got the younger kids. So I had many of those days where I said, just make it to the car. And I would get in the car in that teacher's parking lot, close the door, and I would just bawl my eyes out and cry and just break down. That was awful. That was awful. That was awful. So it feels like at this point, we as the teachers are jumping off of the Titanic right now, okay? And like grabbing onto the lifeboats. We are saving ourselves, and rightfully so. But the kids are really the ones who are just being left behind on the sinking ship. And as this lady here said before, we should all be scared. Listen to this.
So in my class, we did this thing where I made them write once a week. They would have some type of assignment where they would have to write at least a paragraph, meaning 5 sentences. 5 sentences. The amount of assignments that I got in with 1 sentence, 2 sentences, the amount of complaints I got with the whole 5 sentences, that's too much. Can we do 3? Isn't 3 considered a paragraph? Oh, baby. We are in for a wild ride, y'all.
Oh, wow. That really was alarming to me and kind of triggering, because when she was talking about giving an assignment to students to write a paragraph, as in write 3 to 5 sentences, immediately I thought about when I was a student teacher back in the probably 2009, 2010 school year. I was a teacher's assistant then. That was a first grade assignment, guys. That was first grade, because the teacher giving that assignment told me, this is going to be a challenge for first graders who are used to just learning to write the previous year, which was just kindergarten. So now the fact that they have to write 3 sentences, and it was on a worksheet or whatever that had a little box. And I'm sure y'all remember these from being a kid, where after you write your little paragraph, you could draw your little picture so they can get their pencil box out and their crayons and draw a picture. And I almost wanted to go into that lady's comments under her TikTok post and be like, maybe you should give high schoolers pencil boxes with crayons and markers if they're having so much trouble trying to write 3 to 5 sentences to write a paragraph. Maybe they need to color and draw pictures to go along with it, because that is not a high school level assignment. That is alarming. That from the year 2009, 2010 to now to 2025, that's where we are in education. And that's what's going on in high school level classrooms. But it really just feels like to me that education in and of itself is just crumbling right before our very eyes. And it's just not a priority for anybody in power to do anything about it. We're just all kind of watching it crumble. And I came across a TikToker who talked about why he thinks that this is happening. And he was talking about what's going on with the Department of Education. And I want you guys to watch this clip, because I found what he had to say very disturbing and very interesting. Let's take a listen.
Okay. I don't think people understand what just happened, because this is one of the biggest moves the Trump administration has made, and it's barely even getting coverage. Donald Trump has officially begun dismantling the entire U.S. Department of Education. Not talking about it, not proposing it, he's doing it. Here's what they're doing, and it's insane. They're carving up the education department and shipping its core responsibilities to totally different federal agencies. K through 12 education programs being moved to the Department of Labor. College and university programs, also the Department of Labor. Native American education, shoved into the Department of the Interior. Foreign language programs, handed off to the State Department. Childcare and medical education programs, dumped into Health and Human Services. This is not a restructuring. This is not a reform. This is the first real step into Trump's long-stated goal to eliminate the education department entirely. And here's the part nobody's talking about. He's doing it without Congress. They're using obscure contracts, the Economy Act, to outsource the work to other agencies behind the scenes. That way, the department collapses from the inside out without a single vote. This has never been done in modern U.S. history. A president trying to dissolve a cabinet-level agency unilaterally? That is a massive constitutional fight waiting to happen. During private briefings, officials refused to rule out moving even more, including special education and federal student loans. Yes, special education, student aid, your grants, your kids' services, all of this could be moved out of the education department completely. And remember, they already used the shutdown to slash the agency's workforce and fire employees. This is happening during chaos, while the public is distracted and they are hoping nobody notices. Whatever you think about the Department of Education, love it or hate it, this is one of the biggest federal power shifts in decades, because this isn't draining the swamp. This is dismantling the system that oversees every school district, every college student, every teacher, every kid. And they're doing it by executive maneuvering, not democracy. People should be way louder about this.
So I'm really glad that he made that video and he talked about how the entire Department of Education is being dismantled. I do think that we need to be paying more attention to what is going on politically when it comes to education, because it's so much more to this than just the teachers quitting. I mean, we should be most alarmed by the number of teachers quitting, but there's so many things that are happening all at once in order to basically destroy education. They're destroying the Department of Education. They're destroying education as we know it. And if you think about it, why would this be something that would be happening right now? Why is it so important that the education system be destroyed? Like, what would be the sort of conspiracy theory, maybe, to why this is all taking place right now? So let's listen to this young man right here talking about why education is just sort of crumbling, and what the deeper reason is behind this sort of chaos.
The government just moved adult education, job training, and career tech programs out of the Department of Education and into the Department of Labor. And on paper, it sounds harmless, but what it really means is that under this system, education is no longer being treated as a public good. You know, instead of the system helping people learn and grow, they're turning students into workforce supply. And that's basically a fancy way of saying that they want poor and working class people trained only for whatever jobs benefit big corporations. And you see, this is how capitalism works. You know, they don't want educated citizens who think, question, and organize. They want workers who obey, workers who produce, and workers who make profit for the rich, you know. So when job training is controlled by the labor department instead of the education department, the goal completely shifts, you know. You're not learning for your future, you're training for their future. And that's a big difference, you know. So your skills, your labor, and your time are shaped around what businesses need and not what you need to live a good life. And low income students are the target because they are seen as easy to control under capitalism, you know. So if you grow up struggling, the system pushes you into whatever job keeps the economy running, you know, and not what helps you build freedom or stability. You know, they're turning schools into factories that produce workers and not opportunities for people to change their own lives, you know.
Wow. I wasn't even thinking on that level until I started seeing what other people were saying on TikTok. And I think it's really important that we consider the things that this young man said. I believe it to be true, but I really want to know what you all think. If you could drop down in the comments and let me know your opinions. Let me know what you think about teachers quitting, seeing so many teachers quitting. Do you think that teachers quitting has just become normalized? Do you think that education is just no longer a priority in this country? And do you think that there's something a lot more sinister going on with like what this young man just said in this last TikTok about how they want us to not be educated and the corporations just want us to just be sort of these sort of drones for them and just know enough to be laborers so they can just exploit our labor. And yeah, I think there's a lot more going on than what we see on the surface. So drop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts and let me know your opinions. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I absolutely appreciate you sticking with me. Thank you to everyone that has subscribed to my channel and who likes the videos. And be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And until next time, bye.